Hey everyone, it's Jack here, TalkNorwichCity, back for another video. Hope you guys are all doing very well. Back for another transfer news roundup today, and silly season is very much at its silliest at the moment. I can't recall a time in which there have been so many Norwich City players linked with different clubs, especially this late into the window. And of course, things are different with COVID and the season starting later than usual, which means the transfer window is slightly delayed and teams have less time to kind of get their squads together. It just feels very uncertain at the moment. I was very confident about Norwich City going into this season, as many others were. You would have been, hard stretched to find many outlets predicted Norwich City outside of the top two, let alone the top six. And I think that was because of the players we had managed to keep at the time of the season starting, and the kind of solidity around the place. Now, especially after Sunday's happenings with Todd Cantwell and Emi Buendia, if you're still out of the loop on that, I've uploaded a video regarding them too. And of course, we've still got Ben Godfrey, Emi Buendia, and players of that kind of nature still around. Of course, Jamal Lewis has been the only real big sale at the moment, and we've got four other players who you would argue are in that category of big money, and we've still got the likes of Tom Tribal, Moritz Leitner, Josip Dermic, even I'd throw Marco Stiepermann, Mario Vrancic, them kind of players who've been at the club since Daniel Farke has joined, and yet aren't really featuring in the squad. So until the transfer window shuts, and there's not long to go now, I think once we get this derby game at the weekend out of the way, we can start to concentrate on what the rest of the season looks like. But then, of course, if you've still got some of these players hanging around the club, one, are their minds still fully in it? And two, does Daniel Farke want to play them? So let's start with the most recent transfer rumours, and let's start with Ben Godfrey. This one seems like it's got legs. Everton have apparently made a £26 million bid for Ben Godfrey. Now, they were in for Tomori, but it looks like he may be staying at Chelsea, which now means Ben Godfrey is Everton's number one target. Carlo Ancelotti has said that he rates Ben Godfrey highly and he likes him as a footballer, and this one's being reported by The Athletic, The Telegraph, so very reputable sources behind this one. Ben Godfrey's a fascinating case because I think he's a good player, I do, and I still think that Daniel Farke doesn't know his best position, or I don't even know if Ben Godfrey knows his best position. He's being played as a centre-back. I think his traits and his attributes suit more of a kind of deep-lying midfielder kind of role, but we've got Ollie Skipp in that position now, and I think Ollie Skipp's a fantastic player. We've got backup at centre-back, although I've said many a time, so I don't want to be hypocritical. I think you need a deep squad, and there are going to be injuries to Zimmerman and Gibson and Hanley and them kind of players throughout the season. So the more centre-backs you've got, the better. But if there's 26, 30 million pounds on the table, that's a figure that you just simply can't turn down, especially in these circumstances with COVID, and Norwich City are losing a substantial amount of money per week with the games being behind closed doors. So it would be a massive sum of money for Norwich City. And you have to remember that you can't hold players back if they want to go. And I'm not saying Ben Godfrey does necessarily want to go, and there hasn't been any talk of him kind of forcing a move out, which is great. And I'm sure Ben Godfrey is a very professional footballer. So it just seems right, this one. I must admit, I'm trying to get myself up and angry about the potential of Ben Godfrey leaving, but I'm not. I just can't. I do think Ben Godfrey's a good player. I don't think he's worth £30 million to Norwich City, though. I think we've got players that can fit in that role. He's I don't know. I think he's got a slightly blemished record, especially over the past 6 months, and I think most Norwich City players do. Just put it this way, I'd be far more upset if Emi Buendia or Max Aaron's left, and that might be because we've got backup in his area. I just think he would be more value to Everton than us. I think the money wouldn't do us any harm, and you want happy footballers. And if Ben Godfrey is happier playing in the Premier League, of course you'd be happier playing in the Premier League than the Championship, then fair play. So that's that. Ben Godfrey to Everton is the latest one. £26 million bid. Apparently that's made up of a £20 million upfront payment with £6 million worth of add-ons. Apparently Norwich City are valuing him at £30 million. That might just be to bump the price up a little bit. I don't think they'll hardball too much over that, but Stuart Webber has got form of that and getting the best price. So we'll see how that one develops. Ben Godfrey to Everton, who knows? That probably looks the most likely at the moment. And the other one, we've spoke about him a bit already in this show, is Emi Buendia. He was linked to Fenerbahce last night, out of nowhere really, and I don't see this one happening. I mean, Fenerbahce, they've got financial problems of their own. That whole league is maybe not as rich and as good as it used to be. I don't think Fenerbahce have won the top flight for quite some time now, and they're under financial restraints of their own. And I see Emi Buendia as being the player that I think Daniel Farke and Stuart Webber would value at the highest. I mean, I would be upset if Buendia left for anything shy of £30 million. There was a £20 million price tag being talked about here with an initial loan deal. There's no value in that for Norwich City. I mean, if there's real issues with Buendia and focus and everything, then okay. But I don't think it's as bad as some are making out. It might just be a bit of a slap on the wrist for Buendia, and I hope he features against Derby this weekend. It's becoming, for me, more and more likely, I think, that Buendia stays at Norwich City. I've just got this feeling. I don't think anyone in the top flight of of English football necessarily want to cough up the payment or need an Emi Buendia type. I don't think I've seen any kind of real firm links with him elsewhere, and there's not too much longer in this transfer window left. I would be, I think Todd Cantwell going to another club is far more likely than Buendia at the moment, just because of Buendia's worth and his value. And I think he brings so much to Norwich City as well that I think they'll be desperate to keep hold of him, I must admit. So let me know your thoughts on Ben Godfrey. Do you see him leaving? Everton fans, if you're watching, would you like to see Ben Godfrey in your squad? Do you think he'll improve it? Do you think he's worth £26 million to you guys? And I think there'll probably be some Fenerbahce fans watching. They're, Turkish fans in particular seem very, very good at just piling into Instagram comments, especially. We've seen it with other players where it only takes one initial link and the fans are straight in there saying, come to Fenerbahce in Buendia's case. So Fenerbahce fans, if you're watching, hello, would you like Buendia? If so, cough up the money and he might be yours. Leave a like, hit subscribe. As I say, Norwich City content on pretty much the daily on Talk Norwich City. Great to have you along, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.